So what we'd like to talk about next is how to appropriately use a fire extinguisher if you come across a small fire. If you come across an entire Christmas tree on fire like that, a small fire extinguisher is just not going to be effective, and really you just need to evacuate the house and call 911 and make sure everybody is out safe. But what we'd like to do now is we'd like to show the appropriate way to use Park Fire Department Training Center, demonstrating some holiday safety tips. Involved in fire.
Okay, so that's on this side. Now if we get everybody switched to the opposite side, we're going to go with the turkey fat fryer next. One thing that Jared didn't cover, but I'll mention it, is when you have the fire,
everyone stays really far back from this one. Farther back? So like around the canopies would be best. Or behind.
You're pushing us back, we said we were too close. Yeah, let me see. We're about to see a turkey fryer go up in flames.
This is, I mean, as bad as it is, it's actually a really cool thing to see. It's,
all right, Jared, you're going to talk us through what's going on right now here with the kitchen fire fryer. It's going to be actually a spectacular fireball at some point. So we're talking to see what's going on. 600 degrees roughly, right?
Good question, Michael. I'll try to get an answer for you a little later.
Any fires are started by cooking around the holidays, we all like to cook around Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Eve. And many fires are started by unattended cooking. So we're advising everybody to keep an eye on what they're cooking and don't get it here, take the lid off, and then don't get distracted, get phone call, turn around, and time passes, you come back and your frying pan on the stove is on fire, or your turkey that you're frying outside is on fire. So what we're doing here is we're demonstrating what happens when everything off. You're frying turkey. Typically turkeys are fried at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. What we're going to do is supposed to not overfill it, but you're also supposed to not overfill the turkey. So we're about to show you what happens when
Okay, Kenny. So you can see the turkey there. He's going to have to put the turkey into the fryer. We'll see what happens.
So you can see the fire coming in
We're at a Menlo Park Fire Training Center where
demonstrate some holiday fire safety.
Strictly for outdoor use and for the fire instructions. Now we're going to use the switch over to some reality. You can see what's going to happen once the light goes.
So we'll have to put some water into the turkey fryer to try to put the fire out. See what happens. Hey, Victoria.
Go ahead. So, all right. Sorry that wasn't spectacular. Every year isn't the same. It's actually a good thing.
So we're at the Menlo Park Fire Training Center where they're demonstrating some fire safety tips.
So we're going to move over to the first cell burn. I'll ask Joel to talk about what we got going on with this first cell burn.
What you just saw was the turkey fryer being too hot. The turkey fryer caught on fire. Now we're going to...
It's all set up right behind the easy-ups for this one. This is going to be a large flame.
What are they burning next?
Right here.
Okay.
These two cells.
Next they're going to demonstrate the danger of placing a candle too close to flammable objects in this house there.
While you're setting up, I'd like to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. So in front of you, you see two small rooms. We call these flashover cells. And so these small rooms are decorated and they're furnished similar to what you would expect in a house. We have some upholstered furniture. We've got a couple of chairs, a small table. We have some curtains and drapes and holiday decorations, and we also have a couple of candles. And so what we're going to be demonstrating today is what happens when you put holiday decorations too close to a candle. Around the holidays, lots of people like to put up these kind of decorations. Many of them are made of combustible materials, such as plastic or cotton or paper, cardboard. And what you also see is people like to put out candles around the holidays. And many fires occur when these candles get too close to holiday decorations. So, Abhidhar's going to go in there and he's going to light a candle in the cell on the left. And then we're going to see what happens when this candle is placed a little bit too close to a curtain.
So on the table here, we have two things. We have the screen for the drone, and we also have a temperature gauge, so we'll be calling that out. It's going to take minutes for it to get going. Obviously, up until the point when the smoke alarm goes off, right? That's it.
Fire is just starting. I don't know if you can see that. There we go.
So what you see now is the fire has ignited the curtains and has very quickly spread up the wall. Fires will spread upward very rapidly. So the hot gases rise and it will rise up that wall pretty quickly. And so keeping candles away from curtains and drapes is very important. What you see now is the fire is basically filling the entire room, and at this point, if you're not out of the room by now,
you're not going to get out.
So we'll let this get going for about 46 minutes because again, that's the average response time. So we'll let this thing start to roll. You can see the power of fire in terms of just how hot it gets. You can understand what it looks like for the firefighter once they get ready to start to go inside the building to get to the seat of the fire through the smoke. So the temperature right now is about 585 degrees. 600. As they start to get in there and go for it, you have ceiling temperatures up to around 1,000 degrees. So they work their way in. And of course, on this prop, we don't go in the prop, but we actually end up outside of it. Hey, Jay. Tell them to not go ahead and set it off because we're going to burn that again, so don't get it too wet.
So Monica, yes, it is common sense that in the last 20 years, dozens of people in Menlo Park Fire District have lost their lives in Christmas-related fires, and that's why the Menlo Park Fire Department is doing this every year. The last 20 years.
Okay, we're going to move to the next prop. This prop has a sprinkler in it, so there's going to be a dramatic difference in what's going to occur. Joel, you want to talk about that one?
Sure. So what we're looking at now, the cell to the right, is identical to the cell that we just burned, except that it has a fire sprinkler on it.
You're going to trip because that's what's up.
Water come out of the fire sprinkler and then from the spray pattern.
Second hut has water sprinklers inside as well as smoke detector. About to light a candle, which is very close to some flammable options in this home. This home, however, is equipped with water sprinklers and a smoke detector. So we'll see the difference between the previous home and this home. When you light a fire, all you get is light a candle that's close to some flammable objects. much slower this fire is burning.
All right, we're going to move back over to this table over here on my left. And Abid from Exponent Fair now is going to talk about some of the analysis tools that are used today to see what caused the fire, like we saw at the ghost ship across the bay, what ATF is doing, and then ways in which we can test for cancers and prevent cancers in firefighters and first responders. So if everybody wants to go over to the table over there, that's the next thing, and we'll get these props fired up again too.
So one of my viewers on Facebook Live wants to know why there isn't a law that requires fire retardants like live Christmas trees.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have an answer to why there's not a lot of laws for a lot of different things, and then some people will say there's too many laws on all sorts of things. So I don't know why that is. I mean, typically if you have, for commercial purposes, trees have to be treated to go into a business. They don't necessarily have to be treated to go inside a residential structure, but it's a good point. You can have it done at a lot. You can have it flocked and different things that can be done.
And just for our Facebook viewers, tell us who you are.
Yeah, my name is Harold Chappelham. I'm the fire chief for the Menlo Park Fire District.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we're going to Abid to come over and talk about some of the sensor equipment over here at the table.
So what we're doing here is we're actually measuring what are some of the toxins in the air that are harmful for your health after the fire has been knocked down. So this is for safety of the firefighters as well as fire investigators who go in afterwards to investigate large-scale fires to figure out where the origin of the fire is and what the cause is. I'm going to let my colleague Eric explain some of these detectors that are being used to measure the concentration of toxins in the air.
So he's talking about fire toxins that get into the air after a fire and the dangers that firefighters face, cancer dangers they face.
In the air. For example, this one here detects the residual of any type of combustion process, and it's recorded in real time, and you can see the peaks and valleys according to the changes over time of the emissions from the fire. We have a particulate sensor, two particulate sensors that monitor the particles that are created by the combustion, and then after the fact, once things are dried out and extinguished and dry out, what might be generated and cause exposure to the investigators, anyone who encounters the site after the fire is completed. And then this little glass here is called a suma canister. This collects, it's an evacuated sphere that collects air into it. It goes back to a laboratory, and the sample is analyzed for volatile organic compounds.
at the Menlo Park Fire Training Center, where the Menlo Park Fire Department is demonstrating some safety tips for the holiday season. Now they're talking about the toxins that are in the air following a fire and the problems that firefighters face with cancer due to those toxins. The equipment you see on the table there measures the various toxins in the air and helps researchers figure out ways they can control the toxins so the firefighters do not face these dangers. As you saw after 9/11, many of the firefighters who fought that fire became ill with respiratory ailments, and that's led to a lot of concern as well.
This is called a Suma canister. There's a vacuum in it right now, and it sucks the air into it.
So that's a Suma canister that he's pointing to now that sucks the air into it and measures the toxins.
Gas chromatograph, mass spectrometer, and it looks for toxics that are in the air that it's in. Yes. Same kind of stuff that's used in air quality, all over the place. Quality surveillance.
Just to check the air quality after fire.
Right. Primarily for exposure to the people who are in the vicinity.
So what's like a safe and unsafe, I guess, air quality after fire?
Well, it depends on the levels that are there. There are established regulatory.
So to repeat what we just saw, right here is a fire turkey baster, a turkey baster fryer. And basically what they demonstrated. It looks beautiful. Turkey baster became too hot. In the last 20 years, as I said earlier, more than a dozen people, including many children, have died in Christmas-related fires. And what prompted the Menlo Park Fire Department to do this on an annual basis, is demonstration on an annual basis in 20 years, 9 people died in Christmas tree fire. 9 people, most of them were kids. And that's when they said they'd have to do this, and they're doing it every year. So in this first home that was burned, the candle that was burning inside, and the candle was a little bit too close to some flammable objects, and the home caught quickly with flames. This next home that we saw here, this home did not burn as quickly because there was a fire, water sprinklers in there, smoke detector. So once the fire reached a certain temperature, the water started to extinguish the fire. The fire was reduced to the fire was This was a Christmas tree that was caught on fire. It didn't take long, probably less than 30 seconds for the Christmas tree to completely flames. So that's pretty much it from here. Thanks for joining us.